So one last time before we start up this live stream, and the actual DLC is going to be active in the game, which during the recording time of this video, we got about 8 more hours to go. So whenever I drop the video, you can just negative about 8 hours. I live on the west coast of America, so we will be live streaming about 1 a.m. or so, about an hour or a half an hour before the actual DLC drops, just so we can go ahead and build up a community of people here and get the live stream going. It's going to be a really big live stream, one of the biggest live streams I've ever done. 10 plus hours of going over all of the content, and we will be covering all of the content. So right now, before we actually get the before the actual DLC drops, let's go over all the confirmed information that we know straight from Rockstar Games itself. So, number one piece of information here is we know that we're going to be getting 3 mansions in the very beginning of the DLC. Although highly speculated, later on we will be getting more mansion locations that will be introduced into the game. So, one of the mansions will be a low tier, and I think the one that they were promoting in the actual trailers over there by Mini Mandrazzo's is the mid tier, and then the one that's going to be by the Vinewood sign, kind of by the casino, that one's going to be the highest tier mansion. And it looks like, from what information that I have gathered, you're only going to be able to own one of the mansions. You're not going to be able to own all 3 of the mansions, considering the fact that drip feed mansions more will be coming into the game. So that's something that we do know for a fact is going to be happening here in just a few hours. So let's go over some of the features that the mansions are going to actually offer that we know about. So it says right here, a huge outdoor and indoor spaces that are going to be fully customizable, and some of those outdoor spaces too. We've already seen that there's going to be probably $795,000 yoga mats and probably $1.6 million weightlifting machines, and a lot of other customizations here that we're going to be able to do. A lot of this stuff is going to be optional too. So more stuff right here on the list is going to be right here. It looks like that. State-of-the-art AI assistant that's going to be helping us, just like Jarvis in Iron Man. You guys ever seen Iron Man? You know, he's got that robot that helps him out and does stuff. Dude, it's going to be just like that. We're getting an Iron Man. We're also going to be getting some sort of vaults. Now, what does this entitle? I don't know exactly, because Rockstar doesn't even talk about the vaults on their actual website itself, but we can see that we do have vaults through the actual trailer. And what are they going to be used for? I don't know. Highly speculated on my end is, could we possibly break into other mansions for some sort of heist that we're going to be getting into other people's vaults and stealing their money? Like, let's just say that our mansion has a bunch of money in it and we got to protect our mansion from getting raided from like other players. Sounds nuts. Let's move on. Style mansion that's going to be coming into the game, with Michael DeSanta being one of our neighbors. Now, another thing too that was shown in the actual trailer is fancy trophy cases. We don't know exactly what this is going to entitle. Possibly missions in the game that we're going to have to do, like extravagant things to be able to get extravagant prizes and be able to have it as like an Easter egg and or like a prize or something like that. Kind of like a trophy on over at the arcade, which it looks like we will be getting mini arcades. We will be getting also mini movie theaters, kind of like over at the casino. Our own private hair salon where you're going to be able to go and get your face painted and your hair cut. And we know this for a fact because it says it right there on Rockstar Games website. Animal kennels. I've already thought up of a name for my dog. I'm calling him Marvin. Me and Marvin are going to take over Los Santos, so you guys better watch out. And also, we're getting new luxury upgraded garages. We don't know exactly how many spaces yet, but we knew on top of that, we are getting workshop mechanics too. And most likely these mansion garages will allow us to do everything that any and every garage would allow us to do, potentially, like even over at our mansions, having the ability of putting Hayos and also a Nami tech on vehicles. So we don't have to go to the LS car meet, and we don't have to go to the agency. We can just have our life at our mansions. It says also right here that we are going to be getting an armory, just like over at the agency, so we can go ahead and purchase our favorite guns. And then, of course, there's going to be gun lockers, and there's also going to be some sort of safe that they were talking about. Although this is just highly speculated, and at this point, we've got about 8 to 7 more hours before the actual DLC drops, and I will be live streaming, physically going through all of the content. And of course, you know me, since I've been grinding a lot of money, we're going to be getting the highest tier mansion, which is going to be the one under the Vinewood sign, which I mentioned earlier. So this is a really cool thing too about the inside car podium. So you know, like the podium that spins around over at the Diamond Casino? We're going to be able to have one of those over at our mansions. And I don't know what type of vehicle that we're going to be able to put there, but I've got some really good ideas of like having the Vigilante in my mansion to make it like, you know, a little bit Batman mansion, Tony Stark mansion, Iron Man. Let's go, bro. Another option that's going to be purchasable is private security. Now, we don't know if that's going to be like a bunch of dudes that are going to be circling your mansion and Mark II oppressors, or if it's just going to be some fat dude that eats jelly donuts and is just going to end up walking around with like a taser or something like that. You know, once again, we will be diving into all this information once it actually releases into the game. And at this point too, I've been checking, there's no queue ups ready to go at this point. Now, another thing, too, that our mansions are going to offer, and we don't know exactly what this entitles, but once again, we will be getting into all this information during the actual live stream itself and going through the missions, is business production. Some sort of business production boosts we will be getting for the mansion, and that should be some sort of upgrade. We don't really know yet, but we will know in a couple hours. So this is what we do know about the missions that we're going to be doing with Michael and or working for Michael himself, is there is a surveillance network that is trying to get set up in Los Santos, and it's going to be up to us to take it down. And that's something we're definitely going to be doing later on in the live stream, going over all the content itself, all the vehicles, all the mansions, all the prices, everything itself. And we should have a couple of friends there too with us to help us out. And this has also been confirmed too. So you do not need to own a mansion to be able to do these brand new missions with Michael, supposedly. It's going to be like probably a phone call you're going to get from Michael to Santa, I can imagine. And then there's going to be a location, and then you're going to go talk to Michael, and then he's going to set you up with this Prix Luxury mansion ability. And of course, once again, we're going to be doing a live stream in a few hours from this, from you watching this video. And this is also something that we know for a fact. GTA Plus members are going to be getting access to the FMJ Mark V a week early than any other player. Although I think it's possible, if you do know a GTA Plus member, you got a friend or something like that, they could get one, they could mod it, and then take it over to the LS car meet, and then you possibly will have the ability of buying it from somebody over there. Also, something that Tez2 did mention earlier today is the fact that PlayStation users are going to get 2 weeks where they don't have to have PS Plus to be able to play Grand Theft Auto 5 during the release time here of the brand new A Safehouse in the Hills DLC with Michael DeSanto dropping here in just a few hours. Now, also right here with a awesome computer, it says we're going to be able to remotely manage all of our businesses through a computer over at the mansion, being one of the best upgraded terabyte and or arcade master control computers. So yeah, this is going to tie into every single one of our businesses up there. So basically, you could look at your mansion being like the best property that's ever going to be coming into the game. Now, we know that we're getting a whole bunch of vehicles through drip feed. Most likely, we're going to be getting like 6 vehicles. One of them that we do know is going to be that FMJ. Another one that we know is going to be a self-driving car. We've already made a video talking about that. And there's also a couple more that are also going to be coming into the game. Don't forget, too, they've never given us our flatbed truck, even though that is in the game and players have DMO dropped it and modded it and stuff like that. That's in the game. So later on, we can still look forward to something with the flatbed truck, and I think flatbed truck delivery missions. And of course, there's going to be new law enforcement vehicles. How much are they going to cost? About $5 million, just like all the rest of the law enforcement vehicles that are in the game right now, which is like a total of 16 or like 17. There's a lot now, you guys. There's going to be new free mode events that are going to have to deal with this new mansion DLC, and we have one of the biggest experience upgrades. So all across the board, this game is going to be getting a quality of life update. That means things are going to be running a lot better potentially for those of you possibly on PlayStation 5 Pro, because that's like the best console that you can get right now. And or if you're on a badass PC, you guys are going to be getting an incredibly big update here. All of us are. Although old gen console, I think you guys are kind of stuck with where you're at with the technology. So at some point, you got to be getting more forward here, you know, and getting a job or something like that so we can just afford brand new consoles, because PlayStation 6 and the brand new Xbox are going to be here in like 2027 or 28. Yeah, but just to go on, it says there's going to be big gameplay improvements all across the board that we're going to be looking for. Most likely, like what I've said before, graphics and a whole bunch of fixes, and this means possibly that they're going to be fixing a bunch of glitches. So yeah, watch out for the glitches that they're possibly going to be fixing. Now, here's something too that I wanted to talk about. It says that they are going to be giving us the biggest creator update that we've ever seen. We're finally going to have the ability of going into creator mode and making our own missions. And my brain goes wild thinking about this, bro, because I'm going to make a mission and you're going to work for me. And then you got to go out there and kill people that like stole spaceship parts and get them back to me so I can get to my spaceship. And then we're going to fix it. And then I'm going to take you to Grand Theft Auto 6 in my spaceship. How does that sound? High five? High five. So with these custom missions, it says too that we'll have the ability of using actors, also objectives, mechanics, and all other types of awesome stuff that's going to be coming into the game with the brand new creator mode missions ability that's going to be, we're going to look at that. And then you guys, don't forget about the VIP benefits. If you guys did do your 3 teaser missions, you ended up getting your $1 million. There's going to be a $2 million discount on the mansion that you end up buying. Once again, I think you're only going to be able to buy one mansion. There's going to be 3 different tiers of mansions: low tier, mid tier, and then a high tier. Of course, once again, not to brag, I'm getting the high tier, bro. I'm gonna spend all my money on everything that comes into the game here so we can go ahead and go over it during the live stream here. Looking at my wrist, I don't have a watch, but it's like probably a few hours from now. So anyways, you guys, this is all confirmed information right now before we actually get into the DLC. And then after the live stream, of course, there's gonna be an onslaught of videos on both of my channels. The second channel, we like to do glitches on there and stuff like that, but I don't want to keep you guys any longer. I'm gonna let you go so I can go ahead and probably take a nap and get the same energy back for the actual DLC dropping in about 5 or 6 hours during the recording time of this video. So once again, drop a like, subscribe if you guys are new. Hang on here because we are going to be going on the biggest and best live stream ride that I've ever done, probably ever, because it's going to be the best DLC that this game has seen, probably ever since the Agency, when Franklin had his own DLC or something like that. At least that's my opinion. Let us know what your guys' thoughts are by leaving a comment down in the comment sections below. And once again, thanks for supporting the channel. My name is Graveside. I'm a green alien from outer space, and I'm out of here, so peace!